One of the most important founding fathers was Samuel Adams of Boston. Somebody might ask, the beer guy? Well, yes and no. That's what he's known for these days, but that glosses over the incredible contributions of the man. Samuel Adams probably did more than any single American to help ignite the fire that ultimately led to American independence. Well, recently for Providence Forum, we got to visit Boston and walk a little bit in the footsteps of this political genius and giant. He was the firebrand of the American Revolution. Samuel Adams was a great patriot. He worked tirelessly for American independence. In fact, he was the father of the American War for Independence. Ironically, most Americans today know his name primarily for the beer named in his honor. Samuel Adams was born in Boston in 1722 and he died in Boston in 1803. He graduated twice from Harvard, having written a master's thesis, basically asking this question: must submission to the government always be absolute? Perhaps his link to beer is this. Earlier in his career, he tried his hand at helping his father by making malt for making beer. But this didn't work out for him, nor did other businesses. Instead, at the age of 41, he found his calling to be politics and writing about politics. Here in Boston, in a very prominent place, is a statue honoring the memory of Samuel Adams, the father of the American Revolution. In fact, Thomas Jefferson once called Samuel Adams the patriarch of our liberty. From 1784 until his death in 1803, the great patriot Samuel Adams lived in a house on this very spot in Boston. This is the Boston Tea Party Museum, dedicated to that momentous event in December 1773, when the colonial patriots decided to assert their God-given rights of life, liberty, and property. Samuel Adams helped organize the Boston Tea Party. He helped initiate the committees of correspondence so that patriots throughout the colonies could communicate with each other. Samuel Adams was not only a signer of the Declaration of Independence, he made it happen in the first place. As one author put it, the Declaration of Independence represented in many ways the culmination of Samuel Adams's life work. We're in Boston at the corner of Essex and Washington Streets, and this is the location of the original Liberty Tree. Samuel Adams and other great patriots pushing for independence met here, and this became such an important symbol of American liberty. Then there sprung forth hundreds, perhaps, of liberty trees plus liberty poles all over during the colonial era in the whole push for independence. But this was the place of the very first and most important one. And in fact, it was so important, this elm, that the British chopped it down in 1775 and turned that wood into firewood. But it didn't matter because there were liberty trees all over the place by that time. In a sense, American liberty was born at this intersection.
The Sons of Liberty would play a formidable force in the future creation of America as an independent nation. Samuel Adams, the lightning rod of the Revolution, was one of the key Sons of Liberty.
It was Sam Adams who was pushing and leading the Sons of Liberty to speak out against what they saw as British atrocities and what they would have defined as tyranny. And so you have the Sons of Liberty, and they're pushing the people to cry out against these injustices.
Sam Adams drafted a document in 1772 called The Rights of the Colonists. It is viewed historically as a key document in articulating the reasons America should sever all political ties to Great Britain. In this document, Adams argued,
"The right to freedom being the gift of God Almighty, the rights of the colonists as Christians may be best understood by reading and carefully studying the institutions of the great lawgiver and the head of the Christian Church, which are to be found clearly written and promulgated in the New Testament." Sam Adams.
I think it's easily argued that without Sam Adams, you probably would not have had the War of Independence.
This is the grave of Samuel Adams, and they note here that he was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. They also note that he was the governor of this Commonwealth and that he was a leader of men and an ardent patriot. We could also add to this the fact that he was the father of the American Revolution. Samuel Adams called himself the last of the Puritans, but we could quickly add that he essentially was the first of the American founding fathers. Long before others did, he banged the drum until he helped awaken with his writings and his actions the notion that American independence was the only long-term solution to ensure that Americans retained their God-given liberties. Samuel Adams' important work is often overlooked today. If George Washington is the father of America, then at the very least we could also truthfully say that Samuel Adams was the grandfather of America. For Providence Forum, I'm Dr. Jerry Newcombe.